You know, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it gets very hard to do these reviews when the show sucks. Was this a good show? No. This show felt like they have no idea what to write. They have writer's block, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that's the reason why I've been so frustrated in doing this review, because I've been spending a good amount of time trying to say what I want to say. And I am very frustrated. It's like they threw a lot of stuff out there in hopes that it would stick. The WWE has bad writer's block right now. But I'm going to try to do the matches and tell you my feelings on what storylines they have. The triple threat for the IC Championship with Dolph, with The Miz, which could have been interchangeable with Sandow, and with Cesaro. Now I understand, because I didn't watch SmackDown, there was a Battle Royal, and then there was a final match between Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler. Cesaro wins the Battle Royal, then he faces Dolph Ziggler, and then there was a controversial win for Dolph because Cesaro grabs the lower ring rope. Seeing this match, I wish they hadn't done it. I really wish they had built up to it. Because just throwing a random match out, and I know you could say, well, dude, this wasn't a random match. They actually had a Battle Royal last week, and then they had a match there, which could have been hyped for this week. They could have said, well, Cesaro wins the match. He comes out and says his little bit. Dolph comes out. It could be flipped either way. And they say something, have a fight, and they build up into it. Then I would actually have an interest in it. They did everything in one day, and they did this in one day. No hype, no interest. And in the end, Dolph retains. But I don't really care. Seeing that little segment after the fact, that The Miz and Dolph goes to Triple H saying that this is a travesty of justice, he shouldn't have to deal with this, and, well, I have to say this. At least I'll say Triple H sounded very bossy, saying simply, you guys make me laugh, but don't you ever come to my face again, or those little throw out movies you've been doing, Miz, will be the last ones you ever do, because you ain't gonna work here no more, so get the fuck out of my face. I can say at least Triple H did a decent job with that. Throughout the night when he had to do those little segments, some of them were good, some of them were bad. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I really didn't care about the triple threat. I didn't care about what happened with The Miz. And when it came to Damien Mizdow dealing with Sheamus, you get very mixed messages. What now? I mean, you could say, well, nothing's going to happen because The Miz is still dealing with Dolph Ziggler, and this is just something that's thrown out because they want to do a tag team with them. Well, I can understand that, but honestly, you could honestly say that, and this is stretching it for me, Damien Sandow has never held a tag belt, a championship belt, no belt. Why not let him go after the US Championship and then win it? And then have a reason for The Miz and him to have some type of storyline where the stunt double did better than the original. That actually could give us something. And that's what I was actually thinking. Hell, I was thinking better than the fucking writers. Because the writers have writer's block, as I said before. Next, Rosa Mendes versus Layla. And this is where it feels like another writer's block thing. Rosa Mendes is showing Rosa dealing with Natalya and hearing they kind of had almost a lesbian kind of moment. It is kind of interesting. I haven't seen it yet on Total Divas, but I may take a look. When it comes down to it, this entire segment kind of made me feel this. A match. Tyson Kidd versus Natalya Neidhart. This kind of feels like it's going to happen. Now you could say, dude, it's not going to happen. They're not going to throw a husband and wife against each other. They may, because they don't really have anything left to do. They're not showing Naomi from the last video I saw. I didn't see no Cameron. The only persons I saw were the damn Bellas and Eva Marie and a little bit of Natalya. And Rosa Mendes and stuff like that. But essentially speaking, they're throwing those people out. They're focusing on them, so why not do that little segment where you have a husband and wife actually going against each other? They may do it. They're trying to drum up something from the 18 to 34-year-olds because they haven't been doing anything. You never know. Next, the Mark Henry, this makes no sense for me personally. You did a Bo Dallas storyline with a Jack Swagger. Now, if they had prominently featured this where a former All-American got his ass handed to him by a very dominant Russian, they could have put this on the kickoff show and then actually gave them a real match with some type of consequence. But they just threw it out there, and then it went nowhere. Now they're doing that with Mark Henry. Mark Henry dealing with a Bo Dallas. I don't see what this really leads to. If this is Mark Henry turning heel again, I can understand that. They want him as a heel. But to be honest, that's the most stupidest thing you can do, because Mark Henry was so over as a face, being a real, true American, not the Jack Swagger and Zed Coulter crap. A real, true American that people really did want to cheer for. You could have had more time with him. But they're burying the man again. And then, along with that, they're burying a Bo Dallas that this would have worked if Bo was undefeated. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, think about it. If he won against Jack Swagger while he was undefeated, it would give us more strength with him dealing with a Mark Henry who destroyed him afterwards, saying, you see, everything worked because Young Zed was Bo leave. That doesn't work if you have no credibility. And he's already jobbed Jack Swagger twice. I'm just saying. And now that I'm talking about the opponent of a Mark Henry, the segment with Big Show and Rusev was good. I won't undercut it. It was actually good. The crowd liked it. They actually liked seeing the Big Show pull down the entire flag of the Soviet Union. They did enjoy seeing that. And this could have legs. But I have a feeling they're going to rush this because they want to get this to Cena as soon as possible. And I have something to talk about with my debate of the week about that. And I will talk about at the end of this review a little bit. But I really feel like they're going to rush this. They're not going to give it time. By Hell in a Cell, this could be over. It is stupid. Let's move on. Los Matadors versus, I'm not even calling him Slater Gator. I don't give a damn. I'm calling him Slater and O'Neal. The odd couple. Because they just don't feel right. We don't see them much on television. There's no time to really show how funny they are because there's no television time. And they're dealing with the damn Bunny and Adam Rose, which is not working for me. I don't want to see the Bunny. It doesn't have a good interesting name. You could have called him fucking Bugs Bunny. The Funny Bunny. You couldn't call him something interesting than the Bunny. And then this is the thing that gets me. You have O'Neal, Titus O'Neal, a legit large wrestler who has the ability to talk, who has the ability to do something in the ring to a certain extent. He's seen next to Jesse Jackson, who was in Chicago, of course, that's his stomping grounds. And to a certain point, he acted like he really didn't want to be there. He was there because he needed publicity. That's the kind of look he had with that stupid smile on his face. And then he's going like this. That is stupid. If he didn't want to be there, he shouldn't have gone there. But the point is that Titus O'Neal and Slater won against Los Matadores, and then they looked entirely stupid by Adam Rose and the Bunny. And the Bunny did the job, and then the Bunny runs over to a Jesse Jackson to get his hand being raised, and Jesse Jackson smiling there looking awkward. Why? Why was this section this was an abortion of a match, an abortion of a segment, and it should never have been done. It just looked really awkward and stupid. I'm sorry, it did. I had no interest in seeing it. I just didn't. There's just no real hyping for this. Oh, I need to get that out. Next, the Dust Brothers finally get some time on screen on Raw. It wasn't badly done, but I just don't see anything interesting for them because they're doing exactly what they did with the Usos. So soon, we're not going to see them at all on TV. The only thing we're going to see is them doing random matches with people. And we're going to see them against the Usos. That could have actually had a great feud, but there's nothing there. Moving on to the Divas again. AJ and Paige and Alicia Fox. At least Now you got the triple threat of craziness. I may call it that. Because Alicia Fox has always been crazy, and I think she does a better crazy than an AJ Lee in certain points. A Paige who should not be acting crazy at all. Sorry for the noise, they're riding their bikes around. A Paige who should not be acting crazy should be a destructive heel who should be dating Sheamus. Or at least on screen. They actually look like they would be good together and they could actually do something together. That's just me. Or Bad News Barrett. But it's stupid for her to be doing that. And then you have an AJ who's doing the face craziness. In the end, how do I feel about it? Nothing. And then you see Alicia Fox win the match, go under the ring, grab 2 Mountain Dews, it looks like it. Unless there were, I think there were Mountain Dews. They didn't pop them open. They didn't shake them on AJ. They didn't do anything but throw her at her. Why was that even done? This seemed to be stupid. This show really seemed to be badly written. It just made no sense. Like I said, writer's block. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. Alright, Luke Harper, a video segment on him. Nice! With a Bray Wyatt in the background. Nice! But what does that mean? Probably nothing, because we've never seen him work by himself, unless this means he's actually going to go alone, and Eric Rowan is going to go alone, and all 3 of them are going to separate. Maybe. But I don't think so. I don't know what to think of this. If Luke is going to be on his own, okay, I'm cool with it. But if he's not, then what was the point of this? We barely see them as it is. We need to see Bray Wyatt, and he was not there. What do we get? Bray Wyatt doing a cameo for Luke Harper. Dumb. I'm sorry. You need to have credibility for Bray Wyatt so Luke Harper can have credibility. Moving on to... what's left here? Okay. There's only 2 segments left I'm going to talk about. If I forget anything, I'm sorry. We have... We have the Hulk Hogan segment trying to drum up interest in Susan B. Cohen. It is what it is. I'm not against anybody who has breast cancer. My mother died of complications to breast cancer, so I can understand it. I have no problem with it. But here's the thing. Your ratings are drooping, WWE. You're constantly going after all these different types of non-profit organizations, which I can understand. You want to do something because you care. But your business is really suffering. And you constantly keep doing these things that really doesn't give any interest directly to you. You're taking interest away from your product to somebody else. Mind you, it is for a good cause. But in this case, and I'm not against anyone who has breast cancer, the WWE had a 2.69 rating last week. That's bad. If you do not straighten yourself out, you're going to lose your business. So you may need to shorten this with Susan B. Cohen. Try not to make it the most center stage of your show. You need Hulk Hogan to try and prominently feature your people, not Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm sorry. I'm being honest here, ladies and gentlemen. You can be angry at me. You can give me comments below saying I don't give a damn about people with breast cancer, even though my mother died of complications of breast cancer. But I'm just seeing this from a business point of view. This isn't good. Lastly, John Cena and Dean Ambrose versus the twins of irrelevance. And that's Orton and Kane. The beginning of the show, wasn't that bad. Having a little Paulie there mixed in with a little Seth Rollins, he tried to get over a little bit. I can understand. It wasn't that bad. When it came to the segment in the show where he got his case back, I'm talking about Seth Rollins, it just made the Money in the Bank briefcase look irrelevant. And this is something we don't need right now. When it comes to the match, I really didn't want to watch it, and I didn't. I felt like it was going to get a screwy ending, and it did. In the end, Seth Rollins simply, sorry for the noise, Seth Rollins simply destroys with Randy Orton and Kane. He's telling him what to do. How the mighty have fallen. Kane taking orders from Seth. Randy Orton, Randall Keith Orton, who did the most politicking in the back, taking orders from Seth. In the end, both of these guys, and I'm talking about, I don't really care about John Cena. He could be destroyed. I don't care. But Dean Ambrose, he gets destroyed. So what do we get? We try to get the heels over, which to a point really looked good for John Cena. Wasn't that good for... This is a very hard show to do a review on. You know why? Because of the bad writing. They're having writer's block. I've said this numerous times for this review, and I think it's the right thing to say. The WWE had everything written out for a Roman Reigns to really be their top guy for the next year. In other words, they're building a guy up they really believe can do something interesting for them, and now he's gone, and they don't know what to do. They didn't have a contingency plan. And this is what happens with the WWE. They never have a contingency plan if something goes wrong. So they write everything they can for one guy. And mind you, I'm not 100% shitting on them because it's hard to write for emergencies. You got to focus on what you got. But here's the thing. Why not have multiple storylines going on so if something goes wrong, you can easily shift one storyline to cover another? You can't even do that with the WWE. They don't have any. They don't. And this is why this show looks terrible. Mind you, some stuff was done pretty well. Rusev was done pretty well. You got, well, Dean Ambrose, and that like the 1 hour segment wasn't too bad, but it really made the Money in the Bank briefcase look so irrelevant that if they're not careful, if Dean Ambrose has got to get it, it won't mean anything. I'm just being honest here. It just doesn't look right. To me personally, it doesn't. This just looks like a bad show. And there was maybe one redeeming quality, and that was Rusev for me personally. Mark Henry shouldn't have even had to go down that route with Bo Dallas. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. Tell me 100%, do you believe that the WWE has bad writer's block with severe bad writing go on top of it? And look for my debate of the week. I will be talking about Rusev. I might talk a little bit about the Money in the Bank briefcase as well. You guys have a good day. Peace out!